Welcome back to It Brodie YouTube channel. Today we're talking about FIFA World Cup. A lot's been going on. I'll let my soccer professional or my football professional take the wave on this one. Go ahead, Kevin.
Not claiming to be a professional here at all, but this World Cup has been awesome, just to say the least. Good amount of penalties so far. Good amount of I'm just talking about the knockout rounds. Obviously, the qualifiers, we saw who exactly was going to be in the big dance after all, but Daniel's the expert when it comes to losing on the better favorites in terms of betting, because we have, unfortunately, to talk about the biggest upset so far in the World Cup, which is Germany to Paraguay.
Germany.
Penalties. Do you feel you watched that entire game?
I watched every
And
minute of
how
that
do you
game.
feel about the VOR going in and calling that penalty, last, basically, I know how to say it in Spanish, but the last fault on the goalie right there.
I mean,
Going back, reviewing it, nullifying the goal that would have sent them into the round of 16.
insane, dog. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah. VOR is, hey, by the letter of the law, for what I'm hearing from a lot of analysts and stuff, it was a foul. There you go.
I
That's what
mean,
was
yeah,
looking for. It was a foul,
100%.
but they don't love that it was called. But it's like, at the same
You
time,
have to call it. That's when he grabs the goalie, correct?
yeah,
When he's grabbing onto the duh. When are you ever allowed to grab the goalie and not let him perform his
Germany's
job?
pissed, but
Like, of
but
course
you
it's a
also put
foul.
yourself in a position where you're gonna score in the very last seconds of the game.
He looked like he wanted to put himself into position for the
Like
defender. No, the defender to push him into the goalie. But the way it looked, he just completely grabs the goalie, and it's an obvious foul. When it's going in real time motion, you don't see it, and you just see a goal, and you're like, yes. Or some people are like, no.
They
But
did have time though
oh,
to fix
100%.
that mistake.
No, they had plenty of time throughout the game to get their offense going. They controlled most of the game, and to what? They couldn't get I was gonna say a bucket, but they couldn't get the ball in the goal at all. So
So that's a tough break for the country of Germany. So
you deserve to lose in penalties at that point.
I don't know about all that, but
You
they
do.
did skeet a few penalties. But that was exciting. That was an exciting penalty match. Another game that was riddled with missed penalties was the Netherlands Morocco. I know I enjoyed personally watching the Netherlands lose in penalties because it was the anniversary of the Noera Penal. Basically that same day that they
But it
lost
was
the
a
penalties.
penal.
It was not.
It was a
It
penalty.
wasn't. Daniel, I
Kevin.
will swing on you on this.
Kevin, it was a penalty.
It wasn't. It
But
was never a penalty. But the Netherlands
okay.
losing in Mexico on that celebration, glad. I hate their color, but they also played a very defensive game. I've heard analysts talk about it as well. They didn't go in with the mindset where Netherlands are on the attack consistently, and you can see that Morocco was able to take advantage of that and at the end win with penalties. But like I said, we are seeing a lot of players miss key shots no matter what when it comes to that.
I did not expect this one to go 1-1 and then go into penalties. I definitely expected at least one of them to get one more goal in, ending in a 2-1. I had Morocco winning this one, but not in penalties. And then when it goes down to the penalties, dog, and it's like, guys, what are we doing? This one had I think this one had my heart racing the most because of the misses that they were doing, like the blank misses, bro.
They were hooking them left
Like
every time.
straight left, dog, or I think one hit the post. Like, I'm like, guys, like I know we're in the World Cup and you're fighting for your life here, but come on, like you do this. There's no I in my mind, there's no excuse to shank that thing to the left, especially on a. I know you're trying to get that sliver where the goalie's not gonna reach, but there should be no reason you shank it all the way left or right.
I can't vouch for those players. Obviously, heartbreak in the country of the Netherlands, most likely.
No, but you feel good about it. You
I
were
feel
talking
great.
about it
I don't care.
outside that you were
Yeah.
like,
I've
it don't matter
I
about
feel
them
no sympathy for your guys' team. Zero. And every Mexican will
because
tell you the
it
same
was a
thing.
penal.
No, it wasn't. Anyways, moving to probably one of the most anticlimactic games that I don't think anyone is really talking about. The fact that Canada has gone from losing, drawing, losing, and making it out of their group to now they are in the group of 16. Hey, shout out to the hosting countries because all three have now passed officially to the round of 16. But at the same time,
Is it rigged?
they now play Morocco, and I believe you probably have a strong stance on who's winning that.
I don't think the Canada one was too surprising. I think South Africa is a weak team, and I thought Canada also a weak team.
No, that's why it was like
But
underwhelming. It was just like I'm glad that Canada passed through, but
I think Morocco got that in the bag. Sadly, I kind of want all these hosting teams kind of make it forward. It'll be pretty sick. But I think Morocco got that in the bag. Canada's kind of underwhelming team.
we then had
Again, I'm not professional.
we had an early game in the France versus Sweden. Pretty clear dominance from start to finish from France. They are still looking like the team to beat.
The
in terms of
dictator, Mbappe.
Mbappe scored twice, I believe, if not once at the minimum. For this, he is now the leader in goals as of this World Cup, not the leader in general because that still belongs to Lionel Messi. But in terms of that record, but Kylian Mbappe is currently leading. Most likely is the favorite for the Ballon d'Or. But we will get into.
You have to salute when you say his name.
I'm okay.
You have
I'm
to
not
salute
doing all that.
Mbappe.
But France is pretty self-explanatory. They now play Paraguay, so that would have been a very fun matchup between them and Germany. But obviously, let's see if Paraguay has another upset and a Cinderella story brewing there. So now we go into Belgium and Senegal. I know a lot of people. Belgium was the favorite, but they had a feeling that Senegal's like sneaky defense would be able to hold Belgium into that game. Obviously, them winning 3-2, there wasn't a lot of defense played in this game in general. But in terms of Belgium passing through, I think they were favored to win that game. They now face the United States, who played Bosnia today. Again, no shocker there. I think the USA was 1.14 odds to win basically today, so it would have been very disappointing for them to lose. Obviously, the people that scored the goals on there, I think everyone's waiting for that Pulisic just hero game, but I think the USA is playing really good complementary football, and they have a tough test in front of them in Belgium. But that's what I got in terms of that. We still have a few upcoming games that are still going to happen, and then I'm going to get into my favorite game that has a prediction for the Sweet 16 or the actual round of 16. You have the Spain-Austria game. Obviously, I believe most people have Spain in that, but the way that Spain has been looking in terms of injury wise, let's see if there's a potential for upset there. I think the biggest one that people have their eyes on is Croatia gonna shock the world again and make it to the round of 16 again for this year and shock one of the favorites to win the overall World Cup in Portugal. Those games happen tomorrow. You have a game that happened.
Who do you got though?
I have Portugal just because the Simpsons predicted Portugal versus Mexico, so I'm gonna ride that.
And then
prediction.
you have Spain against Austria.
You have Spain, and then I give the edge to Spain at that
Okay.
point. In terms of what we have that has already happened in terms of the groups that we have also ready for the round of 16, Brazil has passed into the round of 16 after beating Japan in a last-second goal in their full time. And then you have Norway, who also passed in the last-second goal from Holland in theirs. So this is going to be a really fun matchup on Sunday, July 5th. You see Brazil versus Norway at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Then we get to talk about Mexico now. So you get Mexico playing Ecuador, and from the very jump, you saw a very offensive-minded team. Now, keep in mind, the reason I can talk about that is because we have not been notorious for offensive-led teams. It was always, hey, stick to your objectives in the back end, and if you get loose, wiggle, Chicharito will bail you out, and you will win 1-0, 2-0, stuff like that with a lot of the technicals. Our technical this year has been on the offensive in terms of the start of the games, and I think I saw Raul leave 3 goals on the table from the start of that game. Obviously, it would have been quite an upset to lose to Ecuador, but at the same time, Mexico right now doesn't have a lot of respect from the outside world in terms of being considered one of those powerhouses with England, no, even the respect that Brazil gets and things like that because they have not won a World Cup. So this is going to be a very refreshing look to see them in the round of 16. Now we know exactly who we draw. We draw England, who defeated DR Congo earlier today, 2-1. England has been a consistent powerhouse, obviously, throughout this tournament, but they have looked very frustrated and agitated at times as I've watched them play. They do look very one-dimensional at times, which you don't know what type of England team you're going to get, whether you're going to get the one that's playing for a draw, then leads to penalties, or you're going to get the one that comes out and scores last second with Harry Kane, like they did today. So I think Mexico has a real chance against England. I would be very happy with the journey at this point anyways, but at the end of the day, I think the home field advantage will overpower and lead to, I think, a very comfortable win over England. And then if we win comfortably against England, I feel like that puts us on the map that, ¿por qué no? Like, why not us at that point? So that's going to be a hell of a matchup in Mexico, I feel like. And I will definitely black out for weeks if we win that. So we will go ahead and see.
What's the score prediction on the Mexico-England game? He said comfortably.
2-0. I got the win in 2-0. We haven't been scored on the entire World Cup.
2-0.
Got 2-0. Harry Kane tries some miraculous stuff at the end and tears his ACL. That's just what I have.
Golly. I'll say I want an exciting game, so 3-2. Give me Mexico 3-2. I like that.
You have some upcoming games that haven't happened, which happen tomorrow. You have one that happens in Switzerland versus Algeria at 8 p.m. That's going to be the only game that's slated for tomorrow. Then you have a July 3rd powerhouse in terms of the games that they have scheduled. You have Colombia versus Ghana, Australia versus Egypt, Argentina versus Cabo Verde, who is just trying to copy the Cinderella story that Paraguay has in terms of upsetting one of the favorites in Germany. But I don't see any more upsets in this aspect. I think you get a really close game out of Australia and Egypt, and that'll be a fun toss-up to see who wins that. Same thing with Switzerland and Algeria, but I think ultimately you see Colombia and Argentina coming out of those matchups, and then you see Colombia and Argentina coming out of the matchups after. So, and that ultimately means I think I see Colombia and Argentina playing each other in the round of 8. I see Mexico upsetting England on Mexican soil and playing. Here's a shocker. I have them playing Norway. And so I think Norway upsets Brazil because I love Holland as a player, and I think he's just a freak of nature. And hope if anyone's going to will their team to a victory there, I would be very scared to play him the next round, but I think that becomes like a very fun matchup.
You'll be okay to lose to Holland?
Yeah, I'd root for him, low key.
Wow.
Yeah, because
wow, that's
I think
actually disgusting,
he's a good dude.
Kevin.
Good dude. I think they match.
You would
up.
choose a guy over your nation.
That's not true. Hold up, wait.
You just said that.
After. You said after they would win.
No. I said you're gonna root for him against your team.
No. I would never root for anyone. I'm saying like if he were to win, I would root for him to win like the World Cup. And
the guy who dominated your nation.
All right,
You're gonna root for him. That's
God forbid.
crazy.
But he reminds me, like Holland just reminds me a lot of Zlatan, and he's one of my favorite footballers of all time.
Who?
Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You have Spain versus Austria here, and Portugal versus Croatia. So I see Portugal winning their matchup, and then I have to go with the prediction of
Croatia.
The Simpsons. So I got Portugal passing past this and facing USA in that round of 8 as well. So you would have my matchups: USA versus Portugal. You would have USA, I'm assuming, versus Croatia at this point.
No, I would have.
Or
no,
Spain.
because it would be either
Spain. You would have Spain. USA versus Spain.
No, you know what? Let me be different. I'm doing Croatia all the way. Let me root for Croatia.
All right. And then Croatia, what do you have here for Brazil, Norway, Mexico, England?
I'm going to have Brazil.
Versus Mexico?
Versus Mexico. I think that stadium is going to be lit, bro. The Brazilians are going to show out. Yeah. Whoa.
Okay. Canada,
that stadium,
Morocco.
we might have to go there live, brother. A Brazil-Mexico game?
Neymar flies out. All right. You have
He
Paraguay.
won't touch the floor though.
You have Paraguay, France. I think, unfortunately for Paraguay, this is where the Cinderella story ends. And then
No, someone has to be head the dictator. It has
you
to be
have, It's
Paraguay.
gonna be him. It's gonna be himself again. You have Morocco versus Canada. I don't know how Canada's made it this far, but if they beat Morocco, shout out Canada for real. I'll root for Canada versus France, but
I would root for. I'm rooting for Canada.
regardless.
Yeah, because I want to see them make it far.
But yeah, so
But
that's
I
what
think Morocco's
that's
gonna
what I got
win,
at
bro.
least up to my quarterfinals, which is just the round of essentially 8 teams left at that point.
And we'll continuously update this
Yeah,
so you guys can
as
see
long as Daniel
where.
doesn't take any more vacations. This is just a quicker
I do have a vacation coming up, but we'll talk about that one later.
quicker video on this. But you know.
Hope you all enjoyed. Viva Mexico. Peace.